Welcome to the TKO show. I'm just going to be doing my week 4 predictions for the NFL. I'm just going to get right into it. The Thursday night game is Packers versus Lions. I am actually kind of curious in this game, especially as a Packers fan. I'm kind of interested to see how Love will do against an actual team. Last week, he played well in the fourth quarter. He played well. I'm not going to lie. Last week against the Saints, he played decent the entire game. Yeah, he didn't have the greatest stats, and he only had 50% completion or whatever. I don't really care about all that. But he did play well, and he showed that he can play when it counts and that he can do well when it counts. So I am interested in what he's going to do against this Lions defense. I'm also curious to see how Jordan Love is going to deal with the pressure from that Lions defensive line. That Lions defensive line might be top 10 in the NFL right now. Honestly, I'd go as far to say as top 5 in the NFL, honestly, with that Lions defensive line. But it's going to be interesting considering that the Packers have a terrible offensive line, absolutely horrendous, riddled by injuries, and a lot of their starting offensive linemen should not be starters anywhere in the league. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Love deals with that pressure from the defensive line. It's also going to be interesting to see how the Packers defense handles that Lions offense, because I'm not going to lie, Goff is playing better than I expected him to. Has 819 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions on the year. I was expecting him to do a lot worse. He's outperforming what I thought he would do. So, yeah. But I do have the Lions winning that one. I do think it'll be a close game, but I do have the Lions pulling it out by a field goal. Ooh, that sucks. Moving on to the morning game. Yes, morning game. For Sunday. It is Jaguars versus Falcons in London, which no surprise there. Jags are playing in London. Would not be surprised if they moved to London at all. Would not surprise me. Actually, I honestly think that might be the direction that the Jags are willing to go, because I was reading something the other day about how most of their fans don't care if they stay in Jacksonville. They don't want them there, which I understand why. They've sucked for almost the entire time that they've been in Jacksonville. There was one, maybe 2 seasons where they made the playoffs with that Blake Bortles, Jalen Ramsey, and that team. That, I'm not going to lie, that team was amazing and probably could have won the Super Bowl, but it is interesting, this game, because I thought that the Jags were going to start off a little better. They are 1-2, and the Falcons are surprisingly 2-1. And honestly, I think they're being carried by Bijan Robinson mainly. He has 39 carries for 213 yards on the year. What? I don't think anyone expected him to carry that much of a load in his rookie season. Now, coming in, we knew he was gonna be their main running back and be playing well, but this far exceeds expectation my expectation at least. But yeah, I have the Jags winning this one. They are ready to get over that hump in the season, but I could see them pulling it out against the Falcons with how Desmond Ridder has been playing. So moving on to, honestly, what I think is going to be the best game of the week, and I don't understand why it's not the 4 o'clock game and why they're not switching around, because how is this not the number 1 game of the week, or Fox's game of the week? Actually, never mind. I just looked. It's on CBS, so that actually explains it. But the First game, or the game that I'm talking about, is Bills versus Dolphins. Two of the most explosive offenses in the league right now. Tua his stats right now for the season are 1,024 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. How do you have 1,000 yards going into week 4? How? Mind you, Tyreek Hill is his leading receiver right now with 25 receptions and 412 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's week 4. I don't understand this. And they just dropped 70 points on the Broncos last week. This is going to be a great game. It's going to be a phenomenal game. This is going to be a shootout. I haven't seen haven't seen anything from the Dolphins or the Bills, so I don't know anything about their defense. If the Bills' defense played like they did last year, honestly, I think it's going to be a shootout either way, but I don't know. It just depends on how the defenses play, and I don't know much about either defense. So, honestly, I'll just say the Dolphins will win this because they're both coming off dominating wins after the Bills beat Washington. I believe it was 30-0 or something like that. I don't remember. But, yeah, the Dolphins pulling this one out by a field goal. Now, moving on to the worst game of the week, going from the best to the worst, is Broncos-Bears, both 0-3. And both teams basically coming off of embarrassing losses. Broncos lost to the Dolphins 70-20. Bears, every game for them is embarrassing, so yeah, even a win would be embarrassing for the Bears. But this game is probably going to decide who gets the number 1 overall pick at the end of the season, which is weird coming into a game in week 4 and already having to say that is kind of weird. But yeah, this is going to be a terrible game. I'm not going to talk about it much if the Broncos win in because the Bears suck, and Justin Fields will find a way to throw the game away. Moving on to Ravens versus Browns. This will actually be a pretty good game. I love Ravens-Browns games. Those are always fun to watch. AFC, I believe they're in the AFC North. I do not remember off the top of my head. But yeah, every AFC North rivalry game is almost always fun. No matter if it's the best team in the league versus the worst team in the league, they always find a way to make a good game, and it's always fun. So they're both 2-1 right now. Ravens are coming off of, I'm not going to lie, kind of an embarrassing loss, letting the Colts come back in overtime nonetheless, and turning the ball over twice from the Ravens, or the Ravens turning the ball over twice in overtime. I have the Ravens coming in and winning in Cleveland. Yeah. Next game is Bengals-Titans. Not talking much about this game. Bengals win. Next game is Rams-Colts. This game's kind of going to be weird because I don't know if Anthony Richardson is going to play or not. I've looked for the injury report for the Colts that usually comes out on Wednesday. I haven't seen anything on it yet. It is only 1 o'clock, so we'll see if it comes out later. But I don't think it'll really matter if Richardson does play because Minshew's playing just as well. The only thing that Richardson has above Minshew is that Minshew can't run as well as Richardson can. So, yeah, but honestly, I have the Colts winning this because the Rams are kind of struggling. Okay. Moving on to the next game is Buccaneers versus Saints. Actually, I will talk a little bit about this game. Saints coming off of an embarrassing loss after a 18-point fourth quarter comeback by the Packers last week, blowing a 17-0 lead in the fourth quarter alone. And the Bucs, honestly, the Bucs have been playing a lot better than I thought. Baker Mayfield has been playing pretty well too. For what I expected him to, he's doing very well. He has 636 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception on the season. Honestly, I thought Baker Mayfield was going to come in and suck, absolutely be terrible. He's playing pretty well, I'm not going to lie. But I do think that the Saints will have this mainly because of their defense. Yeah, Derek Carr is injured, but Jameis Winston isn't as bad as people think. People give him a lot of shit, and I don't understand it. Jameis Winston is a good quarterback. I don't care about records or anything, about interception records and whatever. If I remember correctly, Peyton Manning still holds the record for most interceptions in a season. So, I don't care about interception records. But, yeah, I have the Saints winning that one primarily because of their defense, even though their offense will suffer just a little bit, but not too much to be noticeable and to lose them the game. Now, moving on to the next game is Eagles versus Commanders. Yeah, not really much to say on this game. This is going to be an Eagles blowout. Ooh, yeah, that's really all I have to say on that. Yeah. Next game, Vikings-Panthers. Both teams are 0-3, but I feel like the Vikings are going to get their first win of the season here. I have not watched any Panthers game or seen anything about it. Yeah, we'll see what happens in this game. I probably will watch this since I have nothing to do since the Packers play on Thursday. So I'll probably tune into this game a little bit. But yeah, I have the Vikings winning just because their offense is doing pretty well. And they have a pretty stacked defense. And the Panthers just suck. Moving on to the next game, Steelers-Texans. I don't really know who's going to win this game because Texans' offense is doing very well. C.J. Stroud's doing a lot better than I thought he would, and I hate to say it. Oh, I thought C.J. Stroud was going to suck. Oh, it kills me to see that he already has 900 yards and 4 touchdowns. Fuck. But, yeah. Yeah, the Steelers coming in and winning this in Houston, mainly because of their defense and mainly because of T.J. Watt, but Mika Fitzpatrick is playing well. And yeah, I just have the Steelers winning that. Next game is Raiders-Chargers. That's going to be a terrible game. I'm not even talking about that. Chargers win. Actually, Raiders will probably win because Brandon Staley's Chargers head coach, and he will find a way to blow the game. Now, moving on, next game, Patriots-Cowboys. Honestly, this is going to be a pretty good game. Cowboys coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Cardinals last week, which I thought that the Cardinals were going to be terrible, which I will talk about next game about the Cardinals a little bit, but Cowboys are going to win this by field goal. Yeah, the Patriots defense is always good, but I just don't see any way that offense and Mac Jones and that Patriots offense can do anything against that Dallas defense. So, yeah, Cowboys are winning that. Now, next game is Niners-Cardinals. Niners are destroying the Cardinals. Actually, I don't think it'll be a blowout. And I'll ever think about it. I think it'll end up being 2-touchdown win by the Niners. But, yeah, talking about the Cardinals a little bit from last week, What happened? I I thought they were going to suck this year. Josh Dobbs is playing very well. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to do much against that 49ers defense. Moving on to the Monday night game is Chiefs-Jets. Chiefs are winning that. I'm not even talking about that. I understand why that's a Monday night football game with when they made the schedule. It was going to be a good game with Aaron Rodgers playing, but since he got hurt, that's not even going to be a fun game to watch. Now, moving on to the Monday night football game is we are finally back to the one game on Monday night. It's going to be Seattle versus the Giants. Seattle's winning that mainly because I don't really know why. Yeah, I just have Seattle winning that. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. See you next time. Peace.